It falls under the root of confusion.
Yes.
Everything is jumbled up in your head. You know, and Lot was teaching, Prophet Lot was teaching about how, you know, a person who is dealing with mental or emotional problems, they want to blame you for what, you know, well, hey, you're the cause of me acting like this. You know, and we was talking about how a person that's dealing with these type of issues, they have to have some level of responsibility. You can't blame somebody else for what you're going through. So you gotta have some level of responsibility. So we had a real good discussion this morning. But let's look at the things that falls under confusion. And we're gonna use the word make mentally uncertain. The word mentally is defined as relating to the mind or its disorder. Mentally. It's relating to the mind or the disorder that you're dealing with. The word disorder, and all I'm doing is just taking every one of these words and breaking them down to the simplest. The word disorder means lack of order or the abnormal state of body or mind. So we're going to take the second part of that disorder definition, and we're going to take the first part of the mental definition. So relating to the mind, which has become an abnormal state. Has become an abnormal state. The word confusion affects the body and the mind. It affects the body and the mind. So when it's related to the mind that has become into an abnormal state of the body or the mind, it is affected. Now let's look at the word affect. Affect is a result of influence. There are two effects of confusion that we will discuss. Here is the two, and Tamara touched on it this morning when she talked about the taboo and the stigma of having mental and emotional instability. Here are the two effects. The first one is shame. A person that's dealing with deep disorder, they go through what is shame because of the taboo that people has placed on it. So they go through shame. So it's a distress or guilt or disgrace. Okay? And we ain't going to go into all of the definition of that, but a person that's dealing with a confused state, which I said the confusion is the root, and the bipolar disorder, the schizophrenia, the mentally challenged, the autism, all of those are the little problems that exist under that big umbrella of confusion. So because of that, a person that's dealing with these things, they go through what is called shame. They feel guilty or they feel like they're disgraced. They also go through distress. So what distress is defined as is suffering. So a person's going through these problems, they're suffering. In a way, they're suffering. Because they feel shame because they feel like they don't fit with everybody else. So they feel a level of shame. And because of that, that keeps them in a constant place of distress. Which distress is defined as suffering. Okay. Now, we're down to on your handout where it says the healing state from the condition of confusion. We're learning how to heal the state of confusion. We ain't worrying about trying to heal the bipolar, schizophrenia, autism, all of those little disorders. We ain't worried about trying to heal those, because if you heal that root cause, the other's gonna fall off.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at how to deal with the healing state from the condition. Now, the healing state from the condition means to make or become sound or whole. That should be everybody's objective, whether you are dealing with the illness or whether you have someone that you know is dealing with the illness. The whole objective should be to make that person become sound or whole. The first way of doing it, and basically the only way, is righteousness. Righteousness. We're going to get into the scripture part in just a minute here, but let's look at the word righteousness. Righteousness means acting or being in accordance with what is just or moral. Our job as Christians is not to make that person feel worse that's dealing with this. It's our job to help that person come to a place of being in accordance with what is just or moral. In other words, that's morally correct or proper. In other words, we know confusion is disorder. So our job as Christian is to help that person come to a place of order. Now, that person that's dealing with the illness, they know that they should know in their mind that they're at a place of disorder. So it's their job to work with us to get to a place of order. That's what we were talking about this morning when that person is having, because we all have them bad days. I don't care how saved you are, how much you love God, how much God is the center of your life. We all have those bad days.
Yes.
And when we're having those bad days, we should love people around us to say, you know what, I don't need to be around y'all today because today is not a good day.
Right.
And those people should respect you. Because, that, you know, if I know you dealing with a mental issue and you say, hey, I'm having a bad day, I should know, okay, right now he's dealing with a mental issue. My first question needs to be, hey, is there anything that I can do?
Right.
If you say, no, I just need some time to myself. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to pray for you.
Yes.
First and foremost. In fact, let's go into prayer now.
Yes.
Let's not even wait for me to go wherever I'm going. Let's go into prayer now.
Amen.
All right. Now, after I done got through praying, now I need to say, you know what? I'm going to call you later on to check on you just to make sure everything's okay. Because remember, that person that's going through that illness is in a confused state at all times.
Yes.
So if they haven't learned how to control it, that's when you get a lot of suicides that's going on. Because that person's mind is telling them one thing, and so they're trying to catch up, basically. Okay. Now, the next one is the deliverance state. You were just talking this morning about you don't need to just be healed, you need to be delivered. You was talking about how the medication is helping, or it might have been you, that's helping in the healing process. But that don't mean anything. The medication is supposed to be helping in the healing process. But you still need to go through a deliverance stage. Otherwise, you're going to keep finding yourself going back out there. Because the word deliverance is the action of being rescued or set free. So you don't want to just be able to manage this illness that you're dealing with. You want to be set free from it. Not just manage it. Because sometimes when a person is taking medication over a period of time, their medicine stops working. Oh yeah. So you don't want to just be able to manage it, you want to be set free from it. Okay, so the word just means reasonable, correct or proper, morally or legally right, or deserved. So what you want to do is you want to get a person to a correct or proper state, or a morally or right state. That's what you want. You want to get them to that state. that person should want to get to that state. That should be their desire as well. Let's look, we're going to look at a few scriptures here. Let's look at